Previously, we examined the religious state and unity, the ideological unity in the government of the Imam. We also examined the economic state of the Imam, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give the people at the time the empowerment to develop the earth in a very appropriate and healthy way, such that everyone will achieve economic comfort. We even have very interesting hadiths that talk about the Imam alayhi salam under his government expanding the roads. وَوَسَّعَ الطَّرِيقَ الْأَعْظَمِ, according to one hadith. So in that era, we will find that the world will be interconnected. Today, in the West, we do have these freeway systems. It seems that in the government of the Imam, when it comes to the Middle East part, that's the infrastructure that people will see in the Middle East. In fact, there are hadiths that indicate between Karbala and Kufa or Najaf, all the homes, buildings, construction projects will be connected, such that when you travel from Karbala to Najaf, you don't feel as if you're exiting the city or you're in a desert area. It feels like you're inside one city. This is the economic aspect, and we did talk about that. One beautiful hadith from the Prophet ﷺ summarizes the economic state of the era of reappearance. The Prophet ﷺ states, تَنْعَمُ أُمَّتِي فِي زَمَانِهِ نَعِيمًا لَمْ يَتَمَتَّعُوا مِثْلَهُ قَطْ. My ummah will experience such blessings, such economic comfort, such that in history they've never achieved anything like that. تُرْسِلُ السَّمَاءُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِدْرَارًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will let the rain come down as a blessing on them. وَلَا تَدَعُ الْأَرْضُ شَيْئًا مِّن نَبَاتِهَا إِلَّا أَخْرَجَتْ. You will find that there will be no deserts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will instruct the earth to become green everywhere. So this is the economic state, and we talked about it in our previous course. The final aspect of the government of the Imam alayhi salam that we will examine is the scientific state. The scientific breakthroughs and advancements that will take place in the government of the Mahdi will not have any precedence. The world will witness advancements history has seen nothing like. So the advancements will not be limited to the religious sphere, but even to the scientific sphere. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the messengers of Allah to deliver guidance to people. However, it seems from our ahadith that a lot of the science that we have, the basis of it, the foundation of it was laid out by one of the prophets of God. To give you a few quick examples, Allah taught Adam all the names. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Many scholars understand from this verse that Prophet Adam is the one who gave rise to the civilization, because with his knowledge, he passed down a lot of his knowledge to the next generations, and through that initial knowledge, they were able to build a civilization. We have hadiths that Prophet Idris is the one who was instrumental in teaching people how to write. Before that, people were illiterate. Through him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught people how to write. Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, Allah taught him how to use iron, how to melt it and make shields from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ صَنْعَةَ لَبُوسٍ لَكُمْ لِتُحْصِنَكُمْ مِنْ بَأْسِكُمْ. So we find that the prophets of God were instrumental in really hastening this scientific development throughout history. Now, in one hadith, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam states, الْعِلْمُ سَبْعَةٌ وَعِشْرُونَ حَرْفًا. All the knowledge that God will reveal to humanity is 27 parts. فَجَمِيعُ مَا جَاءَتْ بِهِ الرُّسُلْ حَرْفًا. All the messengers in history, everything that we have up until today, up until the reappearance of the Imam, is 2 parts out of 27 parts. What's 2 divided by 27? What is that? 12, 13, 14%? 14% maybe? Let's say 14%. All the knowledge that humanity has experienced is 14%. Then the Imam alayhi salam states, فَإِذَا قَامَ قَائِمُنَا أَخْرَجَ الْخَمْسَةَ وَالْعِشْرِينَ حَرْفًا فَبَثَّهَا فِي النَّاسِ. When the Imam will reappear, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inspire him the remaining 25 parts. So let's say the remaining 86%. And he will deliver it to the people. So imagine, all the knowledge throughout history is only 14%. When the Mahdi reappears, the remaining 86% is going to be revealed to the people. So you can just imagine the sheer size of the scientific development that will occur in the government of Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah. So when the Imam rises, complete knowledge will be achieved by humanity with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even medical advancements will be witnessed around the world. We do have hadiths, one hadith from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, that there will be no blind, paralytic or sick people who will remain on the surface of the earth without being cured by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the cure to all ailments will be revealed at the time of Imam al-Mahdi ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah. So you can imagine the scientific advancement here. In addition to that, yes?
Sayyidina, couldn't it be not scientific advancement like Isa, Prophet Isa had the power to cure the sick, and maybe Imam Mahdi will have this power and cure?
It seems from the ahadith, when the hadith from Imam al-Sadiq states that the remaining 25 parts, بَثَّهَا فِي النَّاسِ, he will give it to the people. It seems he will teach them how to perform that themselves. So it's not like the blind people will stand before the Mahdi and miraculously he will cure them. It seems he will give them the system, the medical system, to cure those people. Yes, that's what we understand from the hadiths. So unlike Prophet Isa, who was doing the miracle himself, no one else could be able to do it. In the era of the Imam alayhi salam, he will teach the people, he will empower them. That's what's going to be different.
Would the people have extra powers too?
Supernatural power? There are some hadiths that indicate a man will have the strength of 40 men. Maybe through these medical and scientific achievements, there will be some supernatural powers, yes. But mainly we can say most of those powers will come through a scientific method, where people will see the process, they'll know what's going on. To give you some other examples, we have hadiths that indicate when the Imam reappears, يُسَافِرْ مَعَ أَصْحَابِهِ إِلَى النُّجُومِ. He will travel with his companions to the stars. Stars, see nujum, not planets. Today you can go to a planet, but how can you go to a star? And other than the sun, where is the nearest star? How long does it take? It seems that the scientific advancements will be mind-boggling in that area, in that era. And some scholars I've heard in the seminary, they do believe that there may be creations out there in the universe, in some other parts of the universe, and possibly the Mahdi will make some contact with them. Yes, so it will be an amazing era.
But this is not going to be gradual. It's going to be directly when we could be at point A, and to go to point B, the 86% are going to come very fast.
Well, it seems that when the Imam reappears and he puts his hand on the head of people, Allah will complete the intellect. This will happen very fast. Or He will give them a system that will quickly get them to that place. Because remember, He will rule for quite some time. And this will achieve during that period. Another hadith that gives you a glimpse of the technology the Imam will be using. This interesting hadith states, this is from Aban ibn Taghlib, one of the companions of Imam Abi Ja'far al-Baqer alayhi salam, إِذَا قَامَ قَائِمُنَا بَعَثَ فِي أَقَالِيمِ الْأَرْضِ في كل إقليم رجلا فيقول له عهدك في كفك واعمل بما ترى. The Imam will dispatch governors in multiple regions around the earth. And the Imam alayhi salam will tell his governors that what you have to do The instructions that I give you are in the palm of your hand. Look at the palm of your hand, you'll know what to do. Now imagine when the Imam said this hadith, people did not understand this. How is this possible? But today you can understand it. You can have a phone in the palm of your hand. Now does the Imam literally mean the palm? Maybe at that time you don't even need an iPhone with all these radiation and signals, and something will happen where in the palm of your hand literally you can read the instructions of the Imam. We have hadiths that capture this amazing scientific state in their era of the Imam. And just remember that first hadith. All the knowledge, as Imam al-Sadiq states, that has reached humanity up until the time of the Mahdi is 2 parts out of 27 parts. That's 14% almost. When the Mahdi reappears, he will reveal the remaining 25 parts to humanity. That in itself just tells you the size of this scientific advancement.
Does that equal like spiritual knowledge too? Like that?
Yes, this includes spiritual knowledge, religious knowledge, but even scientific knowledge. Even in the world of science, technology, advancements, even that. And by the way, we do also have hadith speaking of, spiritual knowledge or religious sciences. The hadith will state that the religious maturity of people and in the era of the reappearance will be so high that a woman in her house, she will rule by the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in her house. This hadith is from Imam Baqer alayhi salam. وَتُؤْتَوْنَ الْحِكْمَةَ فِي زَمَانِهِ. You will be granted wisdom in the era of reappearance. حَتَّى أَنَّ الْمَرْأَةَ لتقضي في بيتها بكتاب الله تعالى وسنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. Such that a woman in her own house, she will rule by the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet. In other words, she will be a scholar. So we're not just talking about scientific advancements. Even in the world of religion, it seems from this hadith, every woman will become a scholar. She knows the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Ahlul Bayt, the Quran. And when the Ma'soom Imam says that the woman will rule by the law of Allah, that means she knows the Quran, she knows the tafsir of the Quran, she knows the application. And this will all come from Imam al-Mahdi. That's really fascinating and amazing.
Sayyid, will he, Imam Mahdi, tell the scholars to give us the knowledge, or?
He will have representatives, yes. So his main representatives are those 313, then 10,000, then other people. So the Imam alayhi salam, some of the knowledge that he will give is directly by addressing the world, or in Masjid al-Kufa, if you can get there and listen to him. But he will assign scholars in all parts of the world who will directly deliver that knowledge. Or he could use technology. See, if the Imam is sending a governor and in the palm of his hand he can read the instructions, maybe the Imam alayhi salam will enable every person to get the pure knowledge directly from him in the palm of his hand. It's possible.
Only. You have to be religious.
A mu'min to what? To be resurrected? Yeah, we talked about the raj'ah.
Right.
You have to be a believer who dies with full iman to be given the option to come back to this world and join the Imam. Yes.
Is it true that 50 of the 313 are women?
Yes, we mentioned that. 50 of the 313 are women. That's the 313. If you go to the outside circles, there are many more women. But out of the 313, we do have hadiths that state 50 of them are women, which is very significant because essentially the Imam is giving a role to women as well. And remember, those 313 are very critical in his early stages. So even in that sensitive moment when the Imam is just reappearing, 50 women are somehow assisting him. And that's truly fascinating.
So for that, we go back to life for one of the Ansar al-Imam Mahdi.
So yes, if one dies with full iman, Allah will give them the option. The Mahdi has returned. Would you like to go and help his government? If the person chooses, Allah will resurrect the person, yes. We discussed this in the concept of raj'ah, the return. So it's a fascinating era that we truly ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of the Imam so we can really witness that era. يَرْضَى عَنْهُ سَاكِنُ الْأَرْضِ وَالسَّمَاءِ. The hadith states everyone will be satisfied with the rule of the Mahdi.